So, hello and welcome to the 9th episode of Nightmare Down Under, where we play the game GearCity on Nightmare difficulty Down Under in Australia. We started in 1900, now it is August 1922, and in the last episode we had some nice fights in air quotes with our competition, and this is still ongoing. So if we look, for instance, into Sydney, where we are fighting and winning the market for the touring with our two trims against the three trims of Hopesy, and if we pick the full-size sedan, they were also fighting and winning against the slightly better but also much more expensive Apson Sea Lion. And we have to keep up our game in terms of fighting and winning. So we just put into production a new Grand Coupe, and let's see what the press thinks, because I think we hadn't looked at that the last time around. So the marketing team tries to make the 16 horsepower inline four sound that it still performs like an everyday mundane coupe. It's more than enough to get you a ticket. So it is average at best along the track. So it's not sporty, but it's good. And that's an above average number in terms of torque, so that's good. And it handles better than the average coupe. When it comes to comfort and luxury, it's not going to win any awards. It barely meets what you need. It's not exactly roomy. Build quality is okay. It's one of the more reliable vehicles on the market. It isn't exactly economic, so we are having a bit of an issue in general with that engine in terms of fuel economy. And it's a bare minimum in terms of safety, so it's not that bad actually. So we can work with that. So we put it on the market, priced again below Hopesy, because theirs is better. So we're going to win, or hope to win, on price. And we were optimistic and say we're going to sell 460, so let's see how that goes. So next thing we'll have to do is to bring one more pre-war car into the current platforms, and we're going to do that with a pickup truck, because we have actual competition somewhere, unlike for the coupe. So, and it's also the newest platform, and we're not going to put anything new on our medium-sized pre-war platform, only when we're going to give this a makeover in 1924, 1925, so that we maximize the amount of research points that we're going to get from the stuff we designed in 1920. And then the next one will be a new medium-sized platform. And then we might think about a new coupe as well, although the sedan and the 2+2 get their priority there. So a new pickup truck. It's a new platform, so it's a new car. It doesn't have to be. I can also make a new generation on a new platform, but I think since we're still growing in image, this is actually useful. I'm not updating the components, because the pickup truck needs to be cheap to sell in any reasonable number. So this is the body that we had before, I think. There's probably something new in there. So yeah, so this, something like this, so with this rounded rear as our styling thing, so that's 1,500 liters. 1,550, so similar look. 1,649, that's better. And 1,656, so here, so either this or this. It doesn't really matter. Let's see whether the number of passengers makes a difference. So this has 4 people, and this has 3 people, so bench seat essentially in front. So one of these two, so it's good to have a choice. Otherwise, cheap, because they don't care about anything except dependability, cargo space, and a little bit of performance anyway. It's a work vehicle. So male, middle class. Not stylish, not luxurious. Cargo focus and dependability probably will go up further, but we'll see. So reliability, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31 overall. So that's, I believe, the rest of the sliders for facelift. Utility, 31, 32, 33, 34. Some performance, 35. Some extra quality. No, that's a lot more for just a minor tick. Safety? No, they don't want safety. They could care less. So 35, 35, 35. So that's it seems. 11 months. We did in 12. Do it in 10, 783. Yeah, 200,000, certainly something we have. And then we have a pickup truck on a modern platform. So, top speed 56. Fuel consumption is a bit of a problem with this engine, but here it doesn't really matter. So this is the 16 pickup. And let's see how our new Grand Coupe sails. Excellent, actually. We're much too conservative, so that's a nice problem to have. And we need more stuff of Tourings at least. Sedan sales dropped, so that's, I think, competition. So one thing at a time. So we need to have 800 Grand Coupes. We need to have 416 Touring. I'm running out of stuff in Sydney, but the 7th sedan probably alleviates that now. 500. And actually 300, because we know of some reserves. So what happened? The rest is great. I'm not giving the 5 Coupe an extra production line. It's going to be dead soon anyway. As soon as someone puts anything on the market. Coupe has now a regular sedan as well, although it's pretty expensive, but this may change and is as good as ours. So it's here to stay. So, okay, the Grand Coupe stabilized. So with these sales figures, it's probably still prudent to put something new into production, even though the base platform is a bit ancient. So we can now make 600 or 557 sedans. Some more 7 Touring. Yep, rest is good. Pickup in 8 and new factory in Melbourne in 8. That'll be interesting. Okay, 5 Coupe gets another production line. So 400. I suspect this is simply a growing market. More people want to buy cars, and we're happy to fulfill their wishes. Cash flow still $1 million per month. That's good. Except when the tax man comes. We're paying $1 million in taxes every quarter, I think. But that doesn't matter. New contract, Brisbane Commercial Fleet. Let's see what they want. So best Coupe 2+2 in the entire world. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to open this up for licensing out. And we get some competition. So let's see whether someone wants to outsource as well. So they want a full-size sedan that is much more fuel efficient than what we have. One thing we could try is whether we can chuck our smaller engine in there, whether this does the trick, and then simply go for the contract. Let's outsource 16 Grand Coupe, and let's charge some nice royalties for best car in the world. Let's see whether anyone takes us up on that. That's a nice side income. So 750 Grand Coupes, or a bit less. Tourings are fine. 627 sedans. Let's check the market for that. What happened there? 5 Coupe 400. Keeping the reserves low, because once we get competition there, then we are toast anyway. So yeah, things stabilized, so they're now cheaper. But we can be cheaper with our sedan, that's no problem. We have very low unit costs. So let's undercut them. Because our unit costs are 908. How many reserves do we have? Not that many, so 700 sedans. Seven sedans. So let's see what happens. 6 months. And that's why I like not to do auto production. Yeah, I actually can control this a little bit. This didn't have that much impact. How did sales actually change? Apeson reduced their price probably too. And theirs is now better. Theirs is new, I think, 1921. We can still be cheaper. 1296, let's check Perth. Yeah, we're still above unit cost in Perth. We can, so let's do it. 5 months. Sales figures. Let's see where we are in the world. Here, probably nothing appears. Company directory. So Apeson is still on top. Where's Hopesy? 30,000. And we have 50,000. Where are we in terms of profits? 13 million. So we're still on the first page. So we're reasonably profitable, because Apeson sells much more and has the same profit level. Where was Hopesy in terms of profits? Okay, so minus 3 million, but they have this insane cash reserve, which the AI sometimes gets as a crutch, so they won't be out of business in any near future. Okay, so that's sold a couple more sedans. That's great, because we have the production capacity anyway. So then we can have 807 sedans in production. Just utilize our ability to sell cheap. So 1,600 Phaetons, please. Rest is great. Pick up in 4. New vehicle body. Okay, 5 Coupe now has a competitor and no one wants it anymore. That's fair enough, so we can simply cancel production and leave it at that. Who is it? Probably Hopesy, because now they're backfilling their... Yeah, they actually brought 2 for good measure. So then let's do some clearance sales. I'm not going to design a new coupe on a platform that's now 10 years old. So now they won this round, and that's okay. We might win the next one. Because they have... Now they brought one, and we're going to have a new fresh platform when we bring our coupe eventually. So the Grand Coupe is working well. 800. Tourings are working well. Everything's working well. 16s are working very well. That's another production line. Melbourne in 2. So we can start sunsetting the pickup because we have not much sales, but a lot of production capacity. Can we make a clearance sale simply? Not really, not cost effective, so it's easier to just reduce production. Okay, so I can simply stop pickup production. Can make some more tourings. If I could. Okay, less Phaetons, 1,500. So, new pickup and a redesigned Melbourne factory. Now we should be good in terms of production capacity. So the old pickup is gone. More 16 tourings. So the upper end of the market takes off. That's great. So 450. Okay, Sydney is running out of production capacity. So I move the 16 touring over to Melbourne. Wow. Now that's... yeah, so then we might just move everything to Melbourne. So Grand Coupe, we need 800. I want to have some leeway. 16 sedan, 550. 16 touring, 400. And that's it. And 16 pickup. 200, one line. 250. So ours is going to be dirt cheap, and it's same score as the Hopesy one. So they sold 270. So I'm simply giving it one full production line in Melbourne and that's it. Can't stop selling the old one. Melbourne commercial fleet. Let's see what they want. They want the minivan. Does anyone else want a minivan? No, it's the worst selling car body ever. Full-size sedan, new trim with the fleet engine. Could be something to consider, but first let's see what the press thinks about the new pickup. We may have hit it out of the park with this vehicle, but it isn't without compromise. So, yeah, as to be expected, it's very slow. It has terrible torque, but they like the handling. It has the bare necessities required. They're not overly impressed by the cargo capacity, but it's what you would expect. It's made by below average workers, use below average materials for below average company. Thanks for that. It's one of the more reliable vehicles on the market. They love the fuel economy. And it's a bare minimum in terms of safety, so it's reasonably good. Okay, so when do we have to make a new platform? In 1925. So the full-size sedan has the worst score. So if we say new generation, we give everything an improvement. And let's see whether we can make then a second trim with the fleet engine, so to speak. So with the 7 horsepower from before the war, what would this bring us in terms of fuel economy? 13.8. Brisbane. Yes, easy. And it's also within range. So that works. So then let's improve stuff. And we can probably retire components. Yeah, so the first gen long wheelbase one can go out of production. I'm still keeping the standard coupe, or the old coupe, on this list of active cars, so that I can easily remove it from the market once it has vanished everywhere. The 900cc engine can go. It still has a 2-speed, wow. And the first gen non-synchronous can also go. Otherwise, so yeah, this gearbox can now get a big overhaul. It's not doing much, but I think I'll take everything I can get, because this is going to be one of the stock gearboxes. So the engine, major modification gets more torque, so I'm definitely going for that. And the chassis, here is not that much difference compared to significant, that's just 1 point. Although, again, I'm taking what I can get. So then let's give the 16 new generation. 642 to make, that's dirt cheap. Now, the other one was also cheap, but still 50 less, although we can make things a little bit better, I assume. Some more reliability. Well, I don't like it that much. Cargo space. Yes, 34. Performance, 37. Safety focus, 35. Nice. More quality? Not really. How much? That's not really gonna work. Market demographic makes things worse again. So that this is the new updated 16. 4 months is fine. We're not in a particular rush. And new trim. The older engine. Well, with the new gearbox, that's okay. So that's the fleet. And has a great fuel economy and nothing else. Naming is interesting. But it's not the 16, but 16 in terms of size. So we use this false advertising. So it has a 16, although it has a 7 horsepower engine, and also done in 4 months. And we are only doing this so that we can get the one contract, and that we have a shot at getting a contract. Will be interesting whether we're actually able to get it. So let's see how the new pickup truck works. Works very well. 56 missed sales, so we need to be more optimistic actually with this stuff. So 400. These production lines are actually pretty large. So what are our unit costs now that we have Melbourne? Sydney still has better unit costs because Melbourne, although one thing, so it has these larger lines and then we can't utilize them fully. Although what's interesting is we're using double the amount of employees in Sydney to produce a third more cars. So how about we move everything to Melbourne? Can we do this? Faton 1525. No. So we'd have 4 more lines available. And that's not enough. Well, 4 more lines. 800 for the 7 sedan. And then 1 more line. So if we expanded Melbourne, we wouldn't need Sydney for the time being. Although there's nothing wrong with having things distributed. And this is actually nicely separated. So we have the 16 all in Melbourne and the 7 all in Sydney so that the components are shared. Yeah, so let's not move things, and then we have simply some excess capacity in Melbourne for future stuff that may come up. So we don't need any new construction. We have now plenty of spare space. And what's in the works is the new full-size sedan. I'm leaving the 5 Coupe on the market as long as some people buy the crap. So a bit of a slump, but it doesn't hurt to build some reserves, except for the Grand Coupe. We have enough, so 750 Grand Coupes. So do I have to sunset the full size, the old full size, the old 16? No, we have not that much reserves. Failed our tax audit again. Anyway, we'll have enough cash, so that's not a big deal. So now we need to sunset, and sales picked up of many things. So reserve, so something like 250. Yeah, so one line less. Everything else, less pickups. They probably adjusted the prices, so 350 pickups are fine. It's in between. 287. So we can make it more expensive. That we sell less but need one less production line. It's not going to be a big volume car anyway. Okay, rest is good. So full-size sedan. It's gone. Great. Sales have picked up quite nicely. So we are selling off a couple of reserves. Less sevens. So the old 16, the new 16, so we sold 500, we could have sold 500, so probably something like 400 for this one. And, I don't know, fleet, 200. Decreased demand for a Coupe in Asia. Fine. So what we can do now is bid for the contract. Oh, we didn't actually need the other one. With the improvement. With the improvement in engine, our sedan actually meets the target requirement, so let's submit the offer. So I'm simply going to forget the fleet, because that's probably going to be too terrible. So, sedan. No one's going to hang it on a poster. It's the latest plain Jane iteration of a full-size sedan, okay. But is it overall good enough for you to spend your hard money on? Absolute garbage in terms of performance. Okay, so that's then something we'll have to address. And it's now a 17 actually. I'm not sure we caught that when we updated the engine. So we have to up our game in terms of engines. So at least the torque is fine. And handling is good. They hope that a recall puts a V8 in these things. Offers what you expect in terms of comfort. It's above average in terms of cargo. It's a well-built machine. Not good in terms of reliability. Okay, we tried. And fuel economy is good enough. And it's safe. So they really like it. So I suspect that we don't need the fleet thing. So that's good. So then we can simply focus on this one. So how much could we have sold? So 500, so let's make it 600. Put it up for sale. That's... Why does melt... Hang on, full-size sedan. Ah, we are only competing against Apson. So Hopesy doesn't have one yet. That's good. So 38. So it's much better and cheaper. So let's go for above 2,000. How good would the sedan be? The fleet one? Actually, same values. That's interesting. But no. So we're not going to start production of that. We don't have to. So we end production of the sedan fleet. And we end production of the old 16 sedan. Okay, what next? So we can start thinking about giving the cars on the pre-war platform a makeover. So the Faton could get maybe just a facelift, because it's on its way out in terms of the popularity. So it's somewhere here, but it's dropping. So that we give it one more makeover on this platform. Make it cheaper. All future Phaetons though have this long wheelbase. So that's simply something to keep in mind. We can keep the existing one. There is nothing preventing us from doing so. So that we say, when would we get the age penalty? That's, I think, the more important question. 1912. So it's good for 4 more years on the market. Yeah, so then that's probably a good thing we can do now. Simply give it the final facelift, which will make it even cheaper. And it's going to be competitive for those years, and then we're going to re-engineer it on the large platform that we have. So we keep things as they are. A bit more reliable, a bit more performance. It doesn't cost that much extra. Some more cargo space. No, they don't care. Guess they are here. Here they are beyond caring. Maybe some less performance here. Yeah, so the interior quality, no, not at all actually. Safety, no. So that's it. Nothing spectacular. The rating still will be pretty good that we're going to get. So it's our overhaul 7 Faton, and we can do it in 2 months. We can do it in 3. So that it finishes next year. That's the next thing. Cash flow is 2 million per month, so despite competition we are faring extremely well. Bit of a sales slump for the 16, no, that's the new 16 sedan, so a bit optimistic there, so let's make 450. I think a respectable number after all. Rest is good. Some less Phaetons. We can actually start sunset, although that should be very easy. Yeah. Okay, again, everything looks good. Seven sedan sales picked up. That's awesome. By quite a bit. That's one more production line. So less Phaetons. 1,000. New contract with Adelaide Business Fleet. 24 hours of tubs. some competition, but not here. So contracts. Oh, they actually want an even more fuel. So that's the fleet one. Now let's put it into production. So good thing we developed that. We're not going to put it into production, actually. We're simply submitting it to the contract, and when the contract is approved, then we're going to put it into actual production. So last month for the Faton. Excellent. Just 8 missed sales. That's brilliant. So some less Grand Coupes. $700. Some less 16 Touring. Some less 7 sedans. So a bit of a New Year's slump. No, that's the wrong one. 16 sedan is fine with 450. 7 sedan is Sydney. So the old Faton goes, and the new Faton, let's make 1,500, because it's probably going to be better. So something like this. So 7 Faton. Apes in November. It's still the old one. So let's be cheaper than our previous offering. And it's better. Are we getting the price gouging? Whoa. We're really selling now to the lower middle class, which is fantastic. No price gouging penalty. And we should destroy them, which is what we want. So modify the old Faton out of production. Let's double check that we actually put the new one, the right one, into production. Yes, we did. So 1/19/24, we have time for one more makeover if we want to. Probably not really, because with the pickup truck is very new. 530, 488, there's not that much in there. So okay, so then I think it's time to develop a new medium-sized platform, and then what we will then start doing is give all our medium platform things a makeover. So this so the sedan, the Grand Coupe, maybe also I revive the Coupe. The Phaeton will go onto the large platform at some point, but it has a few years of life left. And the Touring will also go on the large platform. That's of course the other thing we can still do, since we still have a year. Develop a new Touring on the large platform. Although the thing is, what makes sense is to first have a new other engine, so that we don't have a 7 as the lower engine, but something maybe like a 14 or 15. And then have the new platform with a decent top-end engine, and then use that for the Touring. Yep, so new medium platform it is at this point in time. So simply can redesign the existing one. So the backbone wasn't that useful. We had looked at that the last time. So it is only going to be used. It's used for the Grand Coupe. So they like handling and performance. It's used for the Coupe, which also is the same, and used for the sedan. They have an equal interest. So yeah, we have performance slightly higher, so that works actually. I think we can do some more dependability. Although that's, I think, also a reasonable level here. So then that's good. So let's have comfort and performance in equal measure. That's okay. Can we get some more quality in this stuff? Does this affect anything? Not really. This is dirt cheap in terms of platform. It does something in terms of dependability, okay. So some higher quality components, and this has basically no effect. Engine length, engine width. I'll give it a bit more space in terms of both, so that we can fit in a decent large engine in here at some point. And yeah, 6 months is fine. Maybe the engine will need 7 anyway. But we'll find that out. Okay, so that's it. Do I feel fancy in independent front suspension? Nah. So our third ladder frame on the medium wheelbase. So engine. So what do we want to aim for? So it should be below the 17 or the 16. So something like 14 or 15. So that's still pretty much up there. So I don't think this is attainable with 2 cylinders, but let's check. So if we make it simply so large that it fits. Well, let's just check. So fitting is actually not much of a problem. So let's 1.5 liters, 14 HP, 15 HP for 109 and 8.3 fuel economy. So that would be one option. Let's estimate for still the sedan. It's our best seller. And use the 3-speed gearbox that we have. 19.1. So I'm going to save that and compare it to something else. So it's 1556, 8.3 fuel economy for 109, which is very cheap, and would get 19.1 in terms of fuel economy. And this is the inline 2. So if we go with inline 4, maybe make it a bit smaller, so 1.4 liters. We go for just 15 horsepower, some less torque. It also still fits. 18.4, yep. So the 2 cylinders get more inefficient the higher up we are. And it's not that much more expensive, 130, so don't have to compare things actually. So this is probably it. So we can maybe get some more torque. 18.6. And depending on the aero drag, we get some more brake specific or less of the penalty. But I think this is just for some very new bodies, and we are a bit too conservative for that. So more fuel economy. Oh, we need to check the sedan, of course, with our 2.4 and the 3-speed. 18.0 for 153. 18.7 for 138, so this is still a bit of an economy engine. So 19.1 is a bit too little. I think 18.5 for 135 sounds good. Yeah, this didn't do anything, just a few sliders, but the outcome is the same. So 6 months, yeah, that's fine. We certainly have the money. So 1.4 liter inline 4 with 15 horsepower, 69 torque, nice, and $135, so that's pretty cheap, and I think also pretty competitive. Hopefully more competitive than the old one. Somewhat below our current top engine, which is fine, but of course the next top engine will be much larger, since we've gotten pretty dire reviews in many regards. So that's this. Gearbox. So here we have the manual. So maybe have the budget option, non-synchronous. Works great with our past engine. So let's optimize for top speed for the sedan on the new medium platform, new 15 horsepower. So 59 to 62 depending on car body. 60 to 62, so that hasn't changed a thing. 58, so that's too high. And this is too low. So somewhere in the middle. Yeah, 62, here's a 58. But otherwise 59, 62, so something like here, and here we are at the upper end. That's way too high. Yeah, so this is good, I think. We have one gear, sorry. 63. Yeah, lower is still better. 64, 60 to 64, that works. So this looks good. So invest something into extra smoothness, but we're keeping it non-synchronous, simply so that we have a certain hierarchy. Some more dependability. Maybe. Yeah, so that's, I think, so that we have 3.5 stars, that's good. Fuel economy still doesn't do anything, I suspect. At least not in these estimations. We can try whether this has actually any effect. So we have whether we get 18.4 or less, if these estimations don't work. okay, and it's again cheap. Let's make it in 6 months. And that's then our new medium platform. So it's our third, I think. That's our second. 3-speed, non-synchronous, and rear a reverse gear. Oh yeah, 2. It's our second. So that's in the works. And how well the new Faton sells is then something we'll find out in the next episode. See you then.